The federal student aid arm of the education department is facing a little heat after there was a tweet sent out that had a meme showing Kristen Wiig in Bridesmaid. Now, FAFSA is what students apply for if they're looking for federal aid in order to go to college. And the tweet said the following: if this is you, then you better fill out your FAFSA. And of course, they mentioned the deadline, and then they had the meme of Kristen Wiig on Bridesmaid, and it says, "Help me, I'm poor." And so a lot of people felt that was an extremely insensitive way of dealing with the situation, which I absolutely agree with. An hour later, they took the tweet down and they understood why it was insensitive. They apologized for it, but it's really ridiculous for the federal government to make fun of something that so many students are dealing with right now. At this point, student loan debt has surpassed credit card debt at $1 trillion. We're dealing with students who can't go to college because they can't afford it, or they're graduating with tens of thousands, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. They can't get their lives started as a result of that. So making light of a situation like that is absolutely ridiculous, and I totally understand why the students were upset about it. You know, go ahead, Mr. Party Pooper. Don't make that face.
No, I'm not party pooping.
Yeah.
I just disagree. I don't think that they're making fun of poor people. I think that they're trying to get more poor people to sign up through the FAFSA to get federal student aid.
I think they're making...
How's that being a party pooper?
No, I'm calling you a party pooper because you've been...
What? I like Bridesmaids. I like Kristen Wiig, or that was her, right? No, I think people need to like cool it with the getting offended about every single thing they see online.
Making fun of poor people is not the right way.
I don't think they're making fun of poor people.
That's exactly what they're doing, though. That's exactly.
They're mocking Kristen Wiig, if anything.
They're
who's
mocking
a comedian.
people who don't have the funds necessary to go to our overpriced colleges.
I disagree.
Education system that's set up for the wealthiest people in the country at this point. So I totally understand why people would find that insensitive and very insulting.
I agree with all that about it being overpriced and about the government making far too much off of being a middleman for the student loans, and we could totally afford to cut the cost of college or subsidize it federally. I totally agree with that. I just think that this is one guy who put up one joke, and people want to use it to pretend that the entire FAFSA is for or against something.
So let me give it to you from a different perspective,
Okay.
right? What is the mentality toward people that need to sign up for loans or for federal aid or for any type of federal program because they're poor? You go on cable news and they get made fun of. They get looked down on. They get made fun of. That's basically what it is. So to have the education department, or look, it is one guy who made a really bad decision, go on Twitter and kind of like do a little dig at them, that's not the right way to go about it. People they don't feel good about the fact that they need federal loans or federal aid in order to go to college. It's not like a great thing.
I'm going to shock the world here and side with Johnny Pie a little bit.
Oh, shit! Why would anyone ever do that? Shock the world?
The world has been shocked.
I finally have a friend.
Okay, only because, Anna, we all agree that you're right about this, the importance of the subject, except I'm with John that I don't think that he meant to make fun of poor people. I think it was just, he was trying to grab people's attention. Hey, remember to fill out your deadlines. He's like, why don't I use pop culture to do it? And so I certainly don't think he meant anything bad by it. Yeah, it's like if he'd pulled a Mitt Romney and was like, well, why don't you just use your dad's money to go to college? I'd be like, wait a minute, that's ridiculous, right? But he made a silly joke, you know. If it was, let me just say this, if it was in a context where FAFSA is constantly doing that, like, you poor people, I guess you need these applications, whatevs, right? Then I'm 1,000,000% with you, but this is the only time I've seen them do something insensitive, so.
Yeah, look, I know that, but, I don't know what the guy's intentions are. I don't even know who the guy is, right? But it is insensitive, right? Like, if you want to convince people to sign up for their federal loans or their federal aid or whatever, any type of help in order to go to college, I just think that this is an insulting way to do it, especially considering the grand scheme of things and the real context. And the real context is that students are drowning in debt right now, and they are poor, and calling them poor on the internet isn't going to make the situation better. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to shock the world here and agree with Anna.
What is this? What happened here? Why did it have to happen like this. Okay, I was shocked by that.
Because it seems like what you were saying, you were lamenting that we do disparage poor people in our society, and we do kind of, somehow we've often made the connection now, somehow you lack a moral fiber if you're somehow poor. It's your failing.
Yes,
You did something wrong. And so maybe that this guy didn't do that on purpose, but the way that he could casually do this is kind of a symbol of that kind of mentality in our society, correct?
Yeah,
Anna?
that's just the sense that I got from it. And all I'm saying is, if people found it insensitive, I can see why. I can understand.
Yes.
No one wants to be called poor on the internet because they need help to go to college.
And especially in a disparaging, yes, that was,
Yeah.
so we're right, you and I.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's right.